So the question is, why should I get up in the morning and do things quickly? What happens when I do something? Oh, the person is tired. He opens his eyes in the morning and says, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. No, get up. What happens? There is a halakha, the first halakha in Shulchan Aruch, starts that a person has to have this ability in him to awaken, this ability in him to become mighty as a tiger, fearful as a lion, and so on, light as a deer, and fast as a deer, light as an eagle, to fly and to do mitzvot, and so on and so forth. So when you basically get up in the morning, coming out like that, we say he was mekayem the halakha. He did the halakha. However, kiyum, the word that we use in Hebrew for that, is different than in English. Lekayem, most of the time we'll translate as fulfill or to do, but kiyum is more than that. Kiyum is existence. Kiyumo shel haolam, the existence of the world. So when a person does a halakha, he's a mekayem halakha, or mekayem davar mitzvah. He is doing a mitzvah. Basically, he gives existence to this thing that's called a mitzvah or halakha. In other words, when you do the mitzvah, or you do the halakha, mekayem the halakha, you are creating a spiritual entity that you gave it life. In a way, you became like a mini God. Because we cannot create, v'na'aseh adam b'tzalmenu, and we should make a man in our image. What does it mean, a man in our image? God does not have an image. How can we have a God in our image? Many explanations. I want to offer you a different explanation. There's no such thing as creating in this world, out of nothing, creating. There is, what we call creating is really, I created a nice painting. It's really forming. I'm taking material, raw material, and I'm forming it. I'm giving shape and color to do or to express what I felt and what I wanted to do. However, for me to create something out of nothing is not within the realm of our world, because we are bound with the laws of nature that there's no such thing as creating something out of nothing. There's no such thing. I can't create atoms or protons or neutrons to be able to form into a matter and so on and so on. It's impossible. For us, at least. However, it is possible. When I am doing a mitzvah, I'm mekayem that, I'm giving it substance, I'm creating it, I'm establishing it, I'm creating a new spiritual entity. In a way, I became a partner in the act of creation, because I created something out of nothing. That mitzvah of getting up in the morning was existing. It's really like creation of the world. Would we say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked into the Torah and He created the world? That's exactly what it is. We have the Shulchan Aruch, we have the mitzvot, we have the things that we need to do. That's the Torah, that's the concept. Now we need to create something out of it. How is it? By action. I'm getting up in the morning. If I will do the mitzvot and I would fulfill and do the halachot, I'm creating a different world around me. I'm giving a totally different meaning to the day, to my interaction with other people, interaction, and so on and so forth. I'm becoming a partner in creation by giving chayut, livelihood, to that theory that is called a mitzvah or halakha. So this is a unbelievable idea in terms of like, oh my goodness, how could I neglect doing a mitzvah? Imagine HaKadosh Baruch Hu, chas v'shalom, which is impossible, but imagine HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't feel like making this today. Imagine a world with no oceans, or a world, with no trees. I don't feel like it today. Allah, lo tzarich. It's terrible. What kind of thing is this? I think overall we're all looking for other creatures in the world and other planets. I truly believe that the whole universe, you're not going to find another planet. The whole entire universe with this mega billion, stars and galaxies and so on and so forth. You're not going to find another world like ours. You're not. And all that effort that we're trying to find new life or trying new form is basically trying to find other ways to show that God does not exist. That's why we're never going to find it, because it does exist. Very simple. So when you get up in the morning and you stay in your bed the extra 5 minutes or the extra 5 hours, which sometimes it turns up to be, what you're doing is neglecting in creating this world or affecting this world or giving life. So when a person goes out of this world and he dies, his creations, his creations will come and escort him in the Beit Din Shel Mala. Now imagine you're coming in with this whole entourage of entities that you have created, you and yourself had created. Sometimes, Chaz v'Shalom, it will be bad. You don't want an army of zombies coming to escort you to, or you come with the Supreme Court and people outside. Imagine millions of people waiting and shouting your name or shouting on your behalf for clemency or for whatever it is that you're asking for in Beit Din Shel Mala. Imagine how is it a person comes alone. The anxiety, he'll pull to the side and just throw up from an anxiety. You come alone. These are the people who have no mitzvot. So when a person does such a mitzvah or is about to be mekayem halacha, an insignificant halacha, lichora, there's no such thing. There's no mitzvah. There's no mitzvah to tie my shoes. It doesn't say that tie your shoes, put your right foot in, put your left foot in, tie the left, tie the right. There's no such thing in the Torah. But this is a dvar halacha. They tell me, what's the big deal? No. I tell you, the big deal is great, because now I created a substance. I created an entity of a spiritual existence that will come and escort me to the rest of my life. I cannot speak for myself. Let my actions speak for me. Cannot speak on my behalf. Who am I? So when I do this, even something so quote-unquote benign, when you look at it at this perspective, gives a totally different meaning and a totally different outlook for why should I do what I do? Why should I keep halachot? Why should I pay attention to those little things? When I do things b'diyuk, in great caring, I'm creating a masterpiece. Imagine you're creating, this statue of Venus of Troy, this Venus or whatever it is. Some kind of a perfect statue like David, Michelangelo, whatever. I don't think he was circumcised in that picture, in the paint. Never mind. But all of a sudden, instead of making this perfect, I chipped the eye a little bit. The thing destroying the garbage is no good. So when a person does the mitzvot, bedikdukan, medayek b'mitzvot, he's very careful. He's not OCD. He's careful to execute them appropriately. He creates a masterpiece. He allows the light to come down shining, undisturbed. If you have a lens, every nick on the lens will reflect the light and distort it. If you have glasses and you have a scratch in your glasses, sometimes you don't even realize it's so bad until you can really see it. It says, oh my goodness. And then you get new glasses on and say, wow. That's the difference. In order for us to allow the light to come down to this world, to shine, to give us the spiritual nutrients that we need to create the perfect lens, the perfect vehicle. Imagine those beautiful glass crystal light pipes coming down where the light comes to this world. This is how the nutrients come. All of a sudden you have a leak there, go somewhere else. And that's a little halakha. And that's why it doesn't make sense to me when I'm trying to look for loopholes. Rabbi, do I really have to wash my hands when I go from the bathroom? Isn't it just for cleaning? Isn't it for this? Isn't that for that? And the answer is no, you have to do things the right way. When you wash your hands b'kavanah. Clean your hands. Try not to have a hefsek between the time that you wash your hands and you recite the bracha. Technically I could, but why? You gotta be careful. You wash your hands, shafshef yadayim, make sure your hands are good. Say the bracha appropriately. When you say the bracha, you give an authority to that entity to start going. I give you the blessing. When somebody, is about to do something, say, I give you the blessing. Give me a blessing. I give you the blessing. You should be successful. When you make a bracha on an action, you give it your blessing to go on to roam the world. But if you created an invalid entity, how is it going to go? Don't look for loopholes. You'll fall into them. One time the noose is going to get around your neck of the loopholes. And it's not pleasant. Look at them be. That's when we say that a person is makpid kalak v'chamura. He's careful with a light mitzvah like a severe mitzvah. For him, tying the shoes is as important as arayot. Yeah, he's careful with everything. You can't be careful with this and not careful with that. That attitude would linger on throughout your life. And that's the discipline that we have asiyata mitzvot all the time and doing it and learning it and learning it. You can't end am haaretz chasid. You can't be pious if you're ignorant. You might be a good person, but far from creating perfection. Knowledge, learning, allowing the Torah to come into you. Take the koach that you learn, as we spoke yesterday and this morning. Take the koach that you learn from every masechta that you learned to change your life inside, to polish you inside, to make, when you're learning a Gemara, when you're learning a halacha be'iyun, you're learning the Bet Yosef, and you're learning and so on and so forth, Rishonim and Acharonim, and you're learning it. You're not reading it to finish. You're not reading it to say, I finished. You are learning it. The learning is different. That polishes the inside of you and cleans you up, chips away all the rust that there is compiled inside of you for all these years. After you cleaned it up, now I can fill it up with this spiritual elixir. That's why we say, En melamdim Torah, Ela, we can't teach Torah only to a person who is hagun, he is appropriate. Needs to have. You can't teach Torah to wicked people. It's a waste of time. So Rabotai, be makpid kalake b'chamura. Have this in mind. Next time you do any mitzvah or you make any bracha, any action that you do needs to be thought after. Needs to be b'kavanah, as we say, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. You have to understand what are you doing, and you have to understand why are you doing it. And when you do that, you make this world to a better place. Have a great day.